Welcome to Tips and Tricks for January 2024. This month, Paul will give us a look at how Image Manager works.
So the next application we're going to talk about is the Image Manager. And again, this is where what we're using to capture externally generated documents that are coming into the system. So they could be vendor invoices, customer purchase orders. It could be a document that you generated, like a picking ticket that you're using as a proof of delivery. You can bring those back in with it too. So you can do your everyday scanning and document capture type functions with this application, as well as the more advanced feature like doing data entry automation for accounts payable or order entry. So it's the same application, does your simple scanning and storing of documents, and it also does your more advanced applications where you can actually turn a document into a live transaction without having to do any data entry. And again, there's been a lot of work on this to automate that process as much as possible. So where that kind of starts is with what we call inbound sources. So an inbound source can be a directory, network directory, or it could be an email address. So based on the way this is set up, as documents come into a specific directory, you can define what you want to do with those particular documents when they come in. So they can, for this directory, this could be set up for, scanned accounts payable invoices. And as they come in, we're going to assign the particular jobs we need to run on those, extract the data we need to get that indexed and into the system. And again, it can also be an email address. So as documents are come in from the email box, we can pick the email and extract the attachment from it. And again, do the same kind of thing, define what it is that we want to do with those, and then send it on to Image Manager to run those jobs. So the inbound sources are kind of the start of that automation. And then once they hit Image Manager, we have what we call job definitions. So as the documents come in, based on that inbound source they come to, we've defined what we need to do with those. So again, a job definition can be a fairly simple job where we're reading a barcode, getting an order number, and then from there pulling in additional index information. So we can pull, if all the data we need is on this document that we want to be able to store and retrieve it, we can pull it straight from the document. But we can also look up data from an ERP as well. So once I capture an order number from a barcode from here, I could actually query an ERP, either ODBC or APIs, whatever the particular method is they use, pull in additional information that I'm going to use to store and retrieve that document. So those jobs, again, are pretty straightforward, pretty simple to set up and do. I can also have jobs that, as they come in, I can also, on this one, once I've captured a PO number, and because this is a nice clean example, I can just double click on this value. It will fill in my field. And then when I hit save, it'll go look up additional information for that document to be able to store it and retrieve it. So, just bringing, your simple scanning requirements, it's very easy to set these up to minimize the amount of time it takes to get those documents into the system. Then we can also set up jobs that are, coming in to do some more of the advanced stuff. So as the documents come in, these are set up to do AP automation. And if I'm just going to show you this real quick, as I'm going to monitor this email address, and these documents are going to come in. These are all invoices. And as they come in, they'll start processing. I went ahead and processed them earlier for the sake of time, but they'll come in and it will identify who sent it. And then based on that identification, it knows where to look to pull all that information off of that document. So in this example, the target ERP in this example requires all the line detail. So we're actually pulling not only header information, but all that line detail off of the document as well, so that we can format this as an electronic transaction. Now we're also have various validations on this document as well. So we're going to check and make sure that the PO number, vendor number combination actually exists. We can do the math on the document so that, all the line items foot to the line totals, and then all the totals, including any add-ons, foot to the to the actual invoice total. So we can do all those kinds of calculations just to ensure that we've extracted the information off of that document as accurately as possible. So we do those kinds of things to do it. And also, while we're here, I'm going to point out too that there are, various types of documents that are coming in. So when a document comes in, typically with what we see with accounts payable now is that if you have suppliers and vendors emailing you documents, they're typically going to be a PDF with a text layer. That is awesome, because with those, we can read that data accurately 100% of the time. So it comes in, we don't have to run an OCR engine against those documents. So we just pull the text data off of it from, it's just a mapping exercise from there. So that's all it is. So these come in very clean and easy. We do have OCR capability as well. And the OCR engine we use, it's an AI-driven OCR engine. It's also very accurate as well. It's actually pretty amazing. The things it can do. It actually, in some cases, can read some handwriting. So if it is an image and we can't extract the data the way we do from a PDF, then it can be run through the OCR engine. And the advantage to that too is, with the PDF, it's built in to the system and it just comes on in. With the OCR engine, you don't want to, we only have to run that against documents that require OCR. So not only does it speed things up, but it also helps to keep costs down as well. So multiple ways to attack the data on that document to get it. And you'll note here too that I've got check marks on most of these documents. That indicates that they passed all the validations when they came in. This one, however, failed a validation. And you'll look over here, it's going to tell us what it was. It detected that this was a duplicate invoice number. So it's going to hold it up as an exception so that someone can, take whatever corrective actions necessary on that document. Also wanted you to note too, in that email I sent, this particular vendor sent a single PDF, but within it were multiple invoices. We're able to split those out into each individual invoice as it comes through Image Manager. So you don't have to do anything to those to get, to split those up ahead of time. And then this is just one that came in and we haven't generated the job definition from here. So from here, we'd copy and paste an existing definition, adjust the fields based on whatever the positions are, and then run that one on through. So again, we're going to bring these in. This is an example of a monitored email box. So as they hit this email address, we'll bring them in, process them, and get not only the information we need to index and store it in the archive, but the information required to create an electronic transaction. I'm going to show you one more quick thing too that's kind of cool. So because we can monitor those email addresses, one of the cool way to set things up is if you've got customers that are emailing you purchase orders, you can open the purchase order, enter that into your ERP, and then we can put, what we're doing in this example is we're actually going to put the sales order number in the subject line, and we can use data in the subject line to create our index fields. And we can also, because this is a sales order number that now exists, I can look up additional information out of the ERP to finish up that document. So I brought this customer PO in, it's come in via email. I've opened it up, I've entered it, it's ready to go. And then I'm going to forward it to one of those monitored email boxes, and it's automatically going to get indexed into the archive, and it will be in there linked back to all the other documents associated with that transaction. So real quick and easy way to get customer purchase orders and other documents into the system. So that is kind of a quick high-level overview of Image Manager. Again, you can use it for very simple, straightforward applications, bringing in vendor packing slips or proof of deliveries, things like that. And then you can have much more complex jobs. Oh, here's the rest of them came in that are actually creating electronic transactions out of it. So it's a very flexible tool. You can start doing the easy stuff and then, just keep adding on additional functionality as you learn the system. So Christy, I was going to stop real quick for any Image Manager questions.
Your timing is perfect. We do have a question. For an average distributor, how many templates would they have to create, let's say, just for trade invoices? And from experience, can you provide a ballpark figure?
Yeah, I can get you kind of close. It just depends. What I always recommend is that, you want to focus on the high volume, routine transaction type vendors initially and get those set up. Because those are the ones, why spend time keying them if it's routine kind of transaction. So you work with those first, and you get those set up, and then you move on to, some others where you can, just kind of add on, the other vendors that you're doing a fair amount of business with. But then, there's probably going to be some vendors that, you're doing, an invoice every few months with that, may not be worth the trouble. But the good thing is, because you've automated all those others, you got the time to deal with those ones. So you can do that. We've got a couple of examples. We've got one of our larger customers, within 6 months of the implementation, had just over 400 or close to 450 templates built within six months. So that's pretty good turnaround there. And then we've had another larger one that I think they probably got close to 300 built at this point. They've been running on it for probably 6 to 8 months as well. So once you get rolling and learn how to do it, you can move pretty quickly. And I'll tell you, EDI is great, works very well, but to be able to set up 450 vendors in 6 months via EDI, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Thank you, Paul. If you have suggestions or comments, please send them to Dan Schmitt at dans@synergetic-data.com. For UnForm tips and tricks, thank you. We are looking forward to seeing you again next month.